and gifts that Hashem gives us in that month. Um, Israel Ma'ala Mazal, right? Israel is above Mazal, is above the zodiac, but it still affects us. We could pray for it to, have a different Mazal, but we are still affected, and we gain from the zodiac as well. So we'll talk about some of the things we are getting this month in order that we could receive it even more and connect to it. So Elul is air, right? It's the element of air, which is the ability to think and to see things from above, to imagine, to communicate. And we have the zodiac is Betula, right? Virgo, Virgin. The ability to renew, right? And a virgin, she doesn't know how it is to be with a man, right? And we're like, Hashem, I don't know how it is to be close to you. I don't know how, I don't know. She's doing it this way. He's doing it this way. I've been doing it every year, trying every year to feel close to you. But now I'm renewing. Show me. I'm a virgin. I don't know how it feels to feel close to you. I don't know. Show me. And it's like we're going back. The two letters of the month is Reish and Yud. Every month has has letters that affect the month, right? Letters are alive, right? Our names, every letter gives us gifts, gives us how do we say tchunot? Gives us how do we say tchunot? Tchunot. Okay. So every letter gives us gifts of how to do things, like let's say lamed, right? So it gives us lilmod velelamed, like a great ability to characteristics. Thank you, Tamara. So every letter gives us, it's alive, and it gives us characteristics. It gives us abilities, different abilities. So the letters of the month has different abilities that it gives us. So the Yud is like, we're like a betula. Again, it's the same concept of coming back to the not knowing, to being small. And I don't know about you, but ever since this month started, I feel like a nothing. All of a sudden, I'm questioning everything. I'm like, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I'm this. I'm this. I'm this. I feel like a nothing. And that's part of it. Yud, a tiny, going back to katnut, to small, to nothing. But Yud is also the building block of all the letters. And what does everything start with? A dot, right? And also Yud in Gematria is 10, right? How are you? 10. In Hebrew, you say, Manishma, Eser, good, 10. So it's such, adds humility, right, Tamara? Right, it adds humility. And humility and renewal, to just start wherever, build wherever, new start. And find my desires, right? We said it's Yud, and then it's Reish, the two letters, right? So Reish is Ratzon, desire. What's my desire? And what do I want to build with my Yud? With the Yud that's going to help me build this feeling of small, but where is my Ratzon? Where is what my desires, right? And Ishato, it says Isha tova osa retzon baala, right? What does it mean? A good woman does gives her husband desire. She makes him desire. She makes him want to move and want to do things. And and in the Isha Tova Osa Retzon Bala, there is the letters Ahava, right? How does a good woman make desire for her husband, gives him motivation to move? With love. By loving him, she is making him want to do things and give her, right? And our relationship with Hashem is like a husband and wife, and we just want, we need, when we love Hashem, ahava, then we are making him wanna give us and move, and gives him the desire to give us. Ahava is also has the letters have, give me, have. So so this month, like where is my ratzon? We have that deep ability in this month to deep think. Where is my ratzon, right? I'm in the sadeh, amelech basadeh, and I'm in the sadeh, because if we were living, you know, a life where we had to take care of our crops and everything, then now would be the time where we're taking everything from our crops. We're like, you know, sorting everything out. Is this good? Is this bad? Is this fruit good? Is this fruit bad? Right? So looking at my life, you know, is this good? Is this bad? What's good? What's ra, right? Reish, like we said, the letter, and the yud, what's yakar, what's important. And we're sorting it out, and Hashem is saying, I'm here with you in this sadeh, where you're sorting your life out, and you might not know, and you might feel ashamed, but I'm here with you in this sadeh, and I'm here to help you and guide you and accept you exactly the way you are. Right? Elul, lule he'emanti lirot betuv Hashem. Right? Elul, lule. If I believe in the goodness of Hashem, my heart becomes strong. Chazak ve'emetz libecha. My heart becomes strong with love. So let's see. So we wanna see where is my ratzon, and then with that ratzon, sometimes it could feel like there's no way I could work on this thing, or I don't even think of a possibility of me changing this thing, only because it just feels so blocked, like there is no way. You know, sometimes it feels like there is no way. And in this situation, we wanna do the yud, the tiny da of a step. Whatever we can't do, just do the yud. You could always do a yud. You could always do that little tiny dot, and that little tiny dot could be a thought. It could be anything, and it could be just saying, Hashem, I can't do this. You do this. I'm not, and that's what the betula did. How did the mazal betula happen? Uza and Azut, two malachim, they said to Hashem, how did you bring these men, like, why did you create humans? Like, they're sinning, and like, just put us in the world. We're gonna serve you nice, you know? And he put them in the world, and right away they got all the ta'avot, all the wants for everything bad. And they saw a beautiful woman who was a virgin, and they told her, we want to be with you. And she said, what are you going to give me? And they said, we'll give you our wings, and we'll give you the Shem Kodesh, the name, the Shem Kodesh, the pasuk or the name that we could fly with. And she said, okay, so first give me the wings and the Shem Kodesh, and then I'm gonna be with you. So they gave her the wings and the Shem Kodesh, and they're like, okay, so now it's your turn. And she flew to Hashem. And Hashem loved it so much that he wanted to make it like make her a star, so that we should remember this forever. Like, how beautiful is it? Like, she couldn't, she felt like she couldn't say no. She was there and she couldn't say no. So she said, okay, Hashem, I'm coming to you. You deal with this, right? And that's what we could do. You know, Hashem, I can't do anything right now. I'm going to you. You do it. I remember I was once in a class, and it was like a body work type of class, and there was like two men. It was like a big class, and there was two men in the whole class. And I was out of the class, and we were pairing up into to body work on each other. And I came back the last, and so the only one who was still waiting for a partner was one of the guys, was one of the men. So right away when I walked in, I was already thinking, okay, it's just, you know, learning. It's fine. We'll just work on each other, you know. So what? Like, I'm shomer negia. I wasn't always shomer negia, you know. It's fine. I'm married. Nothing is gonna happen. It's a class. We're learning. Like, what are you, like, stuck in the old ages? It's fine. Because I felt so embarrassed to say, you know, I don't want to work with you. You know, let me work on let me find a different partner. And when I walked in and I saw him starting to walk towards me, and he had like a big smile on his face, like, oh, great, you know, we're gonna work together. And I was like, okay, what could I do? I'm like, Hashem, I can't say no. I can't, because it's gonna embarrass him. Like, he's walking towards me all like, you know, smiling, and it's gonna be so awkward. Like, I can't do anything right now. And I love thinking and talking to Hashem. Like, that's just the best, because you can do it while you're having a conversation with someone. You can do it, and it's so freeing and sometimes surprising in what directions things that feel like so stuck can go. And I said, okay, Hashem, I can't do anything right now, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, you know, I'm doing my part. I'm gonna do something small. You do the rest. And so as he was walking towards me, one of the teachers came over to me, and she said, you don't have a partner, right? And he's coming closer. And I'm like, no, I have a partner. There she is. And I'm like pointing, yeah, there she is. And when he saw me pointing, he realized that I probably have a partner. So he already stopped. And then she was like, what, where do you, everyone's part, where? And all of a sudden a lady comes, and she's like, oh, I could be your partner. and she really came from the place that I was pointing, you know. So really, like, just, we could throw it to Hashem. Like, when we can't do anything, just do that yud, the rest throw to Hashem. And like the Betula, he made her a star. He'll make us a star. And then I wrote here. So also another beautiful thing that I heard from Rabbanit Rachel Bazak. She wrote, instead of like writing, you know, everything, I need to, you know, be better and this and this and this. I need to do this and this and this and this and this. Instead of like that, I need to, and that like guilt and that type of way of looking, of like feeling pressured to write it like I want this and this, right? Whatever I need to be better at, and then say, please Hashem, bring me some more light and some more of your light into these areas, because whatever I did wrong or whatever I'm not able to correct, it's because of a lack of your light. And if I didn't have a lack of your light, it wouldn't, I would have been, able to do it, right? I feel like it's like, sim shalom tova ubracha chaim chen v'chesed. 1 second. וברכנו כולנו באור פניך. Bless us all with the light, with your light. כי באור פניך נתת לנו, because from the light you gave us Torah וחיים, אהבה וחסד. Anywhere that I'm lacking Torah, anywhere that I'm lacking chesed, the wanted to do good, ahava, anywhere I need to love more that I'm not loving, tzedakah, rachamim, just give me that light, and that's what's gonna, it's only the lack of the light. It's not me. It's the lack of your light in this area. Also in Tikkun HaKlali, at the end there is like a Yehi Ratzon, and it says, Uvaderech v'nativ ze ta'ir alai orecha. It says like, find me. Wait, you know what? Let me see. It's actually really beautiful. I just want to read you even before what I was about to. You know what? Let me read it. Why not? And then I'll just interpret that part. ריבונו של עולם, עילת העילות וסיבת כל הסיבות. אנט לעילה, לעילה מין קולה, ולת לעילה מנך דלת מחשבה תפיסה בך כלל. ולך דומיה תהילה. You don't have to understand. I'm just saying it, and that already opens your heart. ומרומם על כל ברכה ותהילה, אותך אדרוש, אותך אבקש, שתחתור חתירה דרך כבושה מאיתך, דרך כל העולמות, עד ההשתלשלות שלי במקום שאני עומדת, כפי אשר נגלה לך יודע תעלומות, ובדרך ונתיב הזה תאיר עלי אורך, להחזירני בתשובה שלמה לפניך באמת, כפי רצונך באמת. So I'm saying, find that within, find where I am standing in the world that I'm standing, exactly where I'm standing, the way you know, right? Because you know better than me what I'm lacking and what I need. And in this way, shine the light, shine your light to allow me to become better. It's just like, and to become better, לחזור בתשובה שלמה לפניך באמת, right? Because so, and basically what we're seeing here is that anywhere that we are lacking, it's because of the lack of Hashem's light. And so it's so freeing to know that, and it's so easy to become better. I'm just gonna ask for more light in this situation, and this thing that I'm lacking. Hashem, please give me more light so I could eat better. Please give me more light in a lot of things. But I'm trying to think of something specific. I also feel like Elul, for me, from how I learned it, always made me feel kind of scared in this month, and not excited. Like when people are like, oh my God, the Chagim are coming, Elul, and they're so excited, I'm like, it feels heavy. It doesn't feel light. One of my teachers said, she's like, Elul is like you know? And it is exciting because Hashem is reevaluating our life. Um, and I feel like we're always reading it, you know, in the Siddur, in different parts, it says, Hashem, judge us, judge us. We're asking for Hashem to judge us, right? Aseh mishpat, right? Um, and it says, right, Tzaddik Hashem b'chol derachav v'chasid b'chol ma'asav. Hashem is justice in all of his ways, and chasid with all of his maasim, with all of his acts. When he does, he acts from a place of compassion, of chesed, of kindness, of goodness. So even though he's just, I feel like it's like, you know, we're getting reevaluated. So it's like our insurance is going to get reevaluated. But, and I'm like, oh no, I drove a red light. I got this ticket. I had this crash, right? And, but the insurance company is my family, is the head is my father. So I know that he's gonna like really wanna not only lower my insurance rate, but he's also gonna wanna give me money back. So somehow he's gonna be like, oh wow, you stopped by this stoplight? Whew. Wow, you're gonna get money back for this. Right, because he's looking where to give me. Oh, you crashed, but right before you beeped. Oh, beautiful. So, you know, you're good. But I feel like it's so exciting looking at it that way. He's just reevaluating my plan, my insurance plan, my life plan, and he wants to give me more. That's it. He wants to give me more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And I want to get more. And how am I going to get more? I'm going to love him more. And how am I going to love him more? I'm going to do mitzvot, which mitzvot is the vessel for Hashem's light. And mitzvot is giving Hashem. So, right? Tzedakah v'chesed, ahava v'chesed, right? Ahava comes from chesed, from giving. So when I'm going to give Hashem, the more I'm going to give, I'm going to love. And the more I'm going to love, I'm going to get light and everything good. So another cool thing, if you feel any situation in life where you feel like stuck, right? And you just, sometimes you can't even find maybe that like yud, that little step that you could take. So you could imagine the situation, and somehow, you know, it doesn't have to be accurate. And you could do it right now, even with your eyes open. And, you know, think of a situation where you're like really, 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 really stuck in. And it just feels like there's nothing you can do. And maybe it's not even up to you, it's up to someone else. It's another person that's, you know, you have no control over. And you could just imagine, you know, you in this situation, imagine this situation however you could, and then put the yud, imagine the shining yud. You could just do it with your eyes open. Shine the shining yud on the situation, just stamp it on and let the yud already do the work. The light will grow. And I started doing it a little bit. I was gonna do something with someone, and I knew it was the right thing, but I didn't feel any desire to do it. But I wanted to, and I felt like there was no way, there was nothing to do about it. So I just imagined it. I imagined the person, I imagined me, I imagined the yud, and I imagined just the light growing. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's my yud that I did. And all of a sudden, all kinds of ideas started coming to my head of how I can get more desire. And it's just, things can change just like that. So what else? Okay, there is for sure a lot more to say, but we're gonna go on. Um, so we're gonna start with the Sipurei Ma'asiyot. We're gonna see till where we're gonna be able to get to. So we were talking about this in the Sipurei Ma'asiyot, the tales of Rabbi Nachman, the clever and the simple. So I'm gonna say the story until where we're up to. I'm gonna like summarize it so that whoever wasn't here remembers it, and also kind of remind ourselves. And I always say it in a different way. So even if you hear it, my summarize every time, it's still gonna be a little bit different. So the tales of Rabbi Nachman was made for us for the end of days, for the days of Mashiach. And it's made to open our heart to work Hashem from a place of connection and love and a pounding heart. And right, it says in the end of days, Hashem is gonna make our heart from a live even to a live basar, to a pounding heart, to an open heart that's serving Hashem. So Rabbi Nachman said, instead of Hashem having to make your heart open and not a rock, I'm gonna help you open it before. And the Sipurei Ma'asiyot is made to, it penetrates into the soul, and whether you feel it or not, it wakes you up from a sleep. It wakes up the soul. And whether you understand the story or not, just reading it does something in the depth of the neshama. And me, from reading the Sipurei Ma'asiyot, I always feel elevated and just like something woke up inside me. And Rabbi Nachman also says, if I only came to this world to say Sipurei Ma'asiyot, my whole life has been worth it. Now we have to understand that Rabbi Nachman was, he was a Gilgul of Moshe Rabbeinu. So it's not, he was big, and his Torot, even without the Sipurei Ma'asiyot, are huge, and life-changing. But he's saying, even if just for the Sipurei Ma'asiyot, my whole life was worth it. And in the Sipurei Ma'asiyot, he basically took deep concepts and he dressed them in stories so that people could learn these concepts. But also in these stories, he has different tips on how to be happy. Because in this generation, we're living in a time where it says, Vayoter Yaakov levado. Yaakov was left alone. And the Zohar, in I think Sefer Shmot, it says, Vayoter Yaakov levado. And the Zohar says about Vayoter Yaakov levado is that at the end of days, people are gonna feel so alone. It will be galut nefesh. You'll be having everything. You'll be surrounded by people, but you'll still feel lacking and you'll still feel alone. And he gives us tips on how to come out of this galut nefesh. Okay, so I'm going to start the story. There was two sons of really rich people, and they were best friends. And one of them was really smart, and the other one was simple, stupid, but he was simple-minded. And they both were really good friends. They loved each other. And one day, both their parents lost all their money. And so much so that their parents told them, go fend for yourself, go find a job, we can't pay your tuition anymore. Go see what you're going to do with your life. So the clever went um, to to the shuk to look what he could do with his life, and the simple became a shoemaker. He got married, became a shoemaker, and he lived like a very simple, hard life where he would be working very, very hard. And even though he learned for very long how to be a shoemaker, he was still not really good at what he was doing. And he would sell it for like half price from what everyone else sells it. And and he would like kind of grab like a little piece of bread whenever he had time. But everything that he did, and Rabbi Nachman keeps emphasizing it more every time, he was so happy. He was so happy. He was so everything. He was so happy. And he had one coat for him and his wife. And he would be like, my wife, give me my beautiful suit. And he would take that coat that was like with holes, and he would say, look how nice my beautiful suit is. And he would eat like dried bread. He would say, my wife, give me meat. And she would give him dry bread, and he would be like, oh wow, this meat is delicious. And she would give him water, and he would say, give me wine. And she would give him water, and he would say, wow, this wine is so good. And he was just so happy. And he really did. He tasted the bread, the like when you're not expecting, when you're expecting exactly what you're getting, when you're accepting exactly what you're getting, and then you could really love the taste, right? If I'm eating plain bread, but I'm thinking, oh, but I could put cream cheese on it, and I should put, it will be yummier if I do this and this, then the bread itself, I'll be like, oh, like it doesn't taste good. But if I get one piece of bread and I'm like, wow, this bread, then I'll enjoy the taste so much. I could really, enjoy the taste for real. Um, and um, and meanwhile, the other clever man, he went to different countries. He became even more smart. He started learning to become a artist, gold and diamonds. And every time he would finish studying something, what would push him to study more was from a place of, what if people won't need this anymore? What if I won't be respected anymore? Out of that type of place. And that made him learn more. And then he was like, wait, but okay, so I do diamonds and I do gold, but what if that, people won't need? So he's like, what do people need for sure? A doctor. So he became a doctor. And he became very famous and rich, and then he was like, okay, what's the tachlit, right? The time when you look at the sky, the tchelet, and you say, what am I here for? What's really the ikar, rakia, ikar? What's the how do we say ikar? The main thing in life, to get married and have kids, right? So okay, so let me get married. No, I'm not gonna get married here, because if I get married here, then the people from my town won't see how successful and rich I am. So like, let me just go back there first and find a woman there, maybe, so that people should see me and respect me and see what became of me. And so he came to, as a rich doctor and artist, he comes back to his town, and his simple friend heard that he's coming back to town, and he ran to greet him excitingly. And if you think about it, it's crazy. And I probably said this before, but it's crazy that he felt confident even to go see his friend who became a millionaire, rock star, artist, famous person, as a, guy with like holes in his jacket, and a weirdo, because people used to call him a weirdo, like, because like why are you so happy and simple? Like, it doesn't make sense. Right? Sometimes you see these people that they're so simple and they're so happy, and you kind of, it's like, what? Like, they're crazy. Why? How are they so happy? It's like a little crazy. And he came to greet him, right? And he's, what, like, it shows like how confident he really is inside, and how, the simple, it takes a lot to be simple. It's not simple to be simple. And like, even for him to think like, oh, so he's gonna, he's gonna say hi to me, like, but no, he's coming to greet him. He's excited. You see that what's leading him is love, is connection. And he's not led by these thoughts of, ego and, am I good enough? Am I not good enough? What does my job say about me? And he comes to greet him, and he and they come together. He brings him into his wagon, and they come into town together. And every time, also up until now, and on the way to his back to town, the rich man, the rich artist, it keeps saying how sad he was, how depressed he was, how he was suffering every time, suffering. And why was he suffering? Because he couldn't connect to anyone, because no one is as smart as I am, and he couldn't enjoy any place that he was in, because they didn't make it as beautiful as he wanted them to. And the hotel is not exactly what, I'm an artist, like, I wouldn't put the beds here, like, oh, this is stupid, like, this is a stupid hotel. And just everywhere he went, he wasn't happy, he was suffering. And so he came back into town, he saw his friend, right? And he went to find a hotel. He wasn't happy in the hotel. So his friend told him, listen, come to my house. I'm gonna, like, move into one room. You could have the rest of my house, and you could do whatever you want with it. So the rich moved into the simple man's house, and he lived there, and still he was suffering, right? Because everything that he did wasn't good enough, either for himself or for others. So let's say someone came to him to do an art on a diamond, and the person wasn't happy with it, even though it was perfect, and that made him very depressed. And then another man came to make him a art on a something, and he loved it, but he saw a tiny mistake that he did, so he was so depressed and he wasn't happy. And everything that he did, right? Even as a doctor, one time someone died from a medicine that died, and he gave him a medicine that was supposed to make him better, but he died. And then everyone was blaming him, and another person came to him and he got better. And then everyone said, oh, it's a coincidence. So he was just, with everything that he did, he was suffering. And his friend that saw him like that, he said, how are you so talented and rich and artistic, and how are you so suffering and sad all the time? And look at me, like, I'm, and I'm happy all the time. I don't have nothing, and I'm happy. And he said, for me to get to your level is if I lose my brain somehow. If I get into an accident, or if I get sick and I somehow lose my brain, then I'll be maybe someone like you. But if you, to get to my level, that's something that could never happen. So so he said, and that's when the first time in this story where he mentions Hashem, where the simple tells him, Hashem could do anything. Here I am, as I am, but keheref ein, I can get to where you are. Keheref ein means, right, like in a blink of an eye, but also what happens when you blink your eye? It's like when you relax, when you let go. I could get to you in a second, because Hashem could do anything. I believe in miracles. And and of course he just laughed a very big laugh back. And they were known in town, the smart, the clever, and the simple, and that's how they were written in the phone book. And one time the king, he opens the notebook and he sees the simple and the clever. So he's like, ooh, he was curious. Who is this simple and who is this clever people? I wanna meet them. I'm curious to see them, right? And in this story, so the clever and the simple is really in us, right? It's two aspects within us. My coach, her name is Cece. She's amazing, and because of her, I'm able to do these classes. Because otherwise I would be too intimidated. So she said it sounds to her like it's the chacham is like the brain, right? And the tam is the heart, which I found like very nice. And like it gives me clarity on it, like sometimes your brain is like, well, your brain is more shekel and your heart is more, real, wanting the real, the connection and the love and doing things out of connection and love, which is what all the simple was doing. Everything he's doing is out of love and connection. And the king is Hashem in the stories. The king is Hashem. So Hashem, the king said, I want to meet these guys, right? And that's Hashem. He wants to meet us. He wants to meet us for who you are. The simple. You're simple. I want to meet you. You're smart. I want to meet you. Wherever you are, I want to meet you. And so he sent messengers to go and ask them to come to him. And he didn't want them to get scared, so he sent a smart man to the smart man and a simple man to the simple man. And when he got to the simple man, he told him, the king sent me to get you. He said, the king to get me? Wow! Where is my coat? And where is the carriage? And right away he goes to the king. And when the chacham, when the clever when the man came to the clever and said, the king is calling you. So he said, the king is calling me? Nah, no. Okay, come here, sit down, let's eat. Then we'll sleep. And tomorrow we'll decide what we're going to do. And so meanwhile, the simple man went to the king already. And the king really liked him, and turned out to be a story where what's it called? There was someone who did something not according to the law, a governor, and so he decided to make him governor over this town. He becomes a governor over the town, and he becomes really rich. And one of his people tell him, listen, if you want, you're gonna probably be, the king will probably call to see you again. So it would be nice if you knew smart languages and different things so you can interact with the king. So he said, sure, let me learn. Why not? And he learned and he learned and he became very smart. And the king called him and they spoke and he became, very knowledgeable, and the king really liked him and he made him even on a higher level. And he told him, and he made him like a beautiful palace and a beautiful chair. And basically he made him really high level. And the clever was, when the guy came, he sat down with him. He told him, listen, did you ever see the king? How do we know there really is a king? Why would the king want to come see me? Because I'm smart? I'm sure he's smarter than me. I'm sure he has people that are much smarter than me. I'm a nothing. Why does the king want me? And right, it's like we say, like, okay, Am Yisrael is gonna do. Why does Hashem need me? He doesn't need me, right? Um, and um, and then he told him, there's no such thing as a king. I don't think there is such a thing. So he said, what do you mean? This note that I'm holding is from the king himself. That says that he wants to come see you. The Torah. and and the clever is like, did the king give this to you in your hand? And he said, well, no, someone of the king gave it to me. So he said, well, there's no king. You said it yourself. And he said everyone in the world is basically crazy and living in a mistake, that they think there is a king, there is no king. And the clever man that was sent from the king started really believing him. Not believing him, it fell in his heart. It sat well with him. Let's see where we're up to. And then they said, let's go show the world, let's go see in the world how everyone is living this stupid mistake of thinking there is a king. So they went, to the marketplace, and they saw a man working, and they said, who are you working? And he said, I'm working for the king. So they asked him, did you ever see the king? So he said, no, I didn't see him. So the clever one said, here, you see? Shtuyot. Everyone is living shtuyot. They went again to a different place, and they saw a soldier. They told the soldier, who are you working? And he said, Et hamelech ani oved, the king. So he said, did you ever see the king? He said, no. He said, you see? Everyone is mistaken. There is no such thing as a king. And Rabbi Nachman is showing us in the new age of believing in believing only, right, in what we could see, right, and not feeling or trusting our other senses, just what we could see, just our brain, just science. So this is where we up to. אחר הדברים האלה אמר החכם לחכם השליח, בוא ניסע מכאן נתהלך בעולם, נעבור מארץ לארץ וממדינה למדינה, ואני אראה לך ואשוב ואראה לך איך העולם כולו שקוע בטעויות ושוגה בהבלים. So let's go all over the world so we could see how crazy everyone is that they believe in this king and this shtuyot. So they started going in the world from place to place, and everyone they spoke to, they're like, they believe in a king. What idiots. And that's how they started thinking, we're so smart. We're smarter than the world. The whole world is mistaken. We're so smart. ואותו הדבר עם המלך שאינו בנמצא, נעשה להם במרוצת הימים כמין משל. כל פעם שמצאו איזו טעות בעולם, אמרו, כשם שדבר המלך הוא אמת, גם כך הדבר הזה אמת. So they started being very sarcastic, like anything that's not really existing, they would be like, the same way the king doesn't exist, this doesn't exist either. Everyone is living a mistake. And they started, these smart guys, they started touring the world and seeing how they are so smart, everyone is so stupid, believing in a king. And they started losing all their money, right? Because they're not really doing anything. They're just spending their money until they didn't have any money left, and they started selling their horses and their carriage until they had nothing left. And they started walking to wherever they needed to go. And everywhere they would walk, they would still see how everyone is mistaken. They're the smartest, and everyone is stupid and thinking that there is a king. What a mistake! What stupid people who are not confident in themselves that they have to believe in a king that they feel they can't do it themselves, so they need to believe in a king. They became so poor, and people started not noticing them, right? They came from a place where one clever guy was the servant of the king, like that lived in the royal town, and the other one who was clever doctor artist, right? And he became they became nothings. And one day they got to a big a place where a Sar lived, like a king, a small king, and not a small king, like a governor of a place, and that was the Tam, the simple. It was the simple that the king made him in charge of the whole town and all the sarim, all the, I guess, kings. I don't know how we say sarim, but somewhere high up. ושם באותה עיר ישב אחד בעל שם, והאיש הזה גדול היה כוחו בעבודתו ועשה דברים נפלאים מאוד. And in the same town there was a man, a Baal Shem, which is like Mekubal, or like someone like the Baal Shem Tov, someone like that he was known to do miracles and to do beautiful things. על כן היו אנשי העיר מכבדים אותו מאוד, so everyone would respect this Baal Shem. ואף בין אנשי השררה והשלטון נתפרסם שמו ותהילתו. Even between everyone, like the whole country and the royal country, also he was very famous. And that's the Baal Shem Tov was very famous also, like between the not Jewish people also. He was known to be a miracle maker, and not Jewish people would come to him too. And even they called a street a Baal Shem Tov, the street they called after him. These are not Jewish people. And Rabbi Nachman is showing us that even not Jewish people believe in a higher power and in miracles. And so he's basically saying, like he's showing us like we could get onto this level, but it's like even not Jewish people believe, and it's these guys, they're so lost, and they're making fun of this Baal Shem, right? We didn't get to that yet, but basically I have to end. But they see this Baal Shem, so I'm just going to say a little bit of the continuation, and they're laughing. Baal Shem, Shuv Sheker, here is another lie, even a bigger lie than the lie that there was a king. Let's go from this stupid place. Because in the beginning, when they came and they saw the Baal Shem, they saw a lot of sick people outside of his house. So the doctor, clever man, wanted to go speak to him because, we have something in common. I'm a doctor, he's the doctor. And then they told him, no, he's not a doctor, he's Baal Shem. So that's when he was like, what? Like, that's a lie, and that's stupid, very stupid. We'll continue on next time. I know we didn't get to continue so much, but a little bit is a lot. And yeah, Basically, what we're showing, what Rabbi Nachman is also showing us, and what we learned is the emunat chachamim, right? The emunah, right? Because in the beginning he didn't believe. The clever guy is like, "What, you got this from the king?" Right? We could say like Moshe Torah Misinai, you got the Torah